Shabbat Shalom, Shana Tova. I'm seeing new people streaming in. So for those who came in a little late, just wanted to mention that our leadership from the Havra Shir Chadash regrettably couldn't be here today because they're tending themselves, tending their families, or tending other beloved congregants, and in particular, Rabbi David and Devorah, his wife, are with the Hyman family this weekend in Las Vegas to officiate Dick's funeral. So they are here in spirit, and we're bringing their neshamot in with us, all of the leadership of the Havra, and grateful to everyone here in person and online from the Havra, so we can really be together, bring in this new year together as a united community. So this past summer, I climbed to the top of a 10,000-foot mountain with my daughter, Rachel, and it was in South Lake Tahoe in the Sierra Nevadas. And I love to hike, and I love the Sierra Nevadas, and I particularly like this mountain called Mount Talak. I climbed it with my son 10 years ago, and this summer, it was an 11.5-mile hike. It took I don't know that it took over 10 hours. It took pretty much exactly 10 hours, and it had a 3,300-foot elevation gain. And it really is harder to breathe, by the way, when you start getting at, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000 feet. During the final hour of my hike, so I'd already summited, had come back down, just one more hour to go. It was pretty easy going. My ankles hurt, my knees hurt, my toes hurt, my hips hurt, everything hurt. And I found myself thinking, I never want to hike again. And when will this ever end? I can't even believe it's not over yet, and how can I possibly go on? And yet I did, step by step by step, breath by breath by breath. And I made it to the car, and I made it to the cabin where we were staying, and I made it to the table in the cabin where dear ones brought me food to eat. And I truly could barely walk, and I managed to collapse in bed and sleep that night. In the morning, I woke up, and I really didn't want to move, but our dogs were ready to go on their morning walk, and everyone else was asleep. And I didn't want to wake them, and I was like, okay, I can do this. And I got up, and I took them out into the beautiful morning. And Talak was across the lake from where we were staying. And to my profound amazement and absolute surprise, I was not sore. All of those parts that hurt didn't hurt anymore. And I could walk. And I began to plan my next hike. I couldn't believe it. So yes, this does connect with our Torah reading this week and this season and with life. In a few moments, Emily Simon will be chanting for us a particularly beautiful piece of Torah. And the English goes like this. Then Moses called Joshua and said to him in the sight of all of Israel, "Be strong and resolute, for it is you who shall go with this people into the land that Yud-He Vav-He swore to their fathers to give them, and it is you who shall apportion it to them. And it is indeed Yud-He Vav-He who will go before you. God will be with you, and will not fail you or forsake you. Fear not, and be not dismayed." Moses then wrote down this teaching and gave it to the priests, the sons of Levi, who carried the ark of Adonai's covenant to all, and it was also given to all the elders of Israel. Be strong and resolute. Adonai will go before you, be with you, will not fail or forsake you. Fear not, do not be dismayed. And Moses wrote this all down and gave it to the priests, the ones carrying the Ark of the Covenant, which holds our Torah. And he gave it to the elders of Israel. So here we are with this Torah portion, with this Torah reading, in the middle of our holiest days, right in the middle of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, in the days of awe. These are called the days of awe for a reason. And the word for awe, norah, noraim, yamim, noraim, is the same root that's found in our reading when it says, fear not, because fear and awe are like this. Do not be afraid. But it's not saying do not be in awe, but it's this connection that and so these days have great potency, as I think we all know and feel. We're in the midst of this very significant metaphor. Who will be written? Who will be sealed in the book of life? And while I do not literally believe that this is what's happening right now, that we're literally being written in some book of life, we are all pausing right now, knowing that we do not know what the year will be for us and what it will be for those we love. And it's good to pause and ponder this. And it's also scary. And in this time of our tradition, we're asked to ask ourselves, what do we need to do so that every moment of the unknown tomorrows is precious and clear and aligned and healed and honest and full of integrity? And then, as we stand in the midst of this immense work and tenderness, our Torah comes through with this beauty. Be strong and resolute. Adonai, God, presence, mystery, the love of the universe, the redeemer of the universe, whatever that means for us, that force, that energy will be with us, will not fail or forsake us. And thus we should not be afraid. We should not be dismayed. This Torah portion is a pep talk. Keep going. You've got this. You are not alone. And the strength of the universe is the wind beneath your wings. I just love this so very much. As we're sitting here in these in-between days and we deepen our work of Shuvah, of accounting, apologizing, forgiving, aligning, we're like doing the yoga of our souls, right? And we're invited to find the strength of the universe. So where is this strength? How might this show up in our lives? It shows up in our beloveds, our partners, our parents, our children, dear friends, community members who make meals for us and help carry the load of our lives. The strength comes from the earth, from Mother Nature, and her resilience, her endurance, her flexibility, the way the trees bend in the wind. I think of that. An endless beauty. Strength comes from sustenance in the food we eat, the waters we drink, the juices, the nectars of those beautiful plants and fruits. Our strength comes from laughter, which is so healing. Our strength comes from music. It touches and can even transform our souls with resonance and brings in harmony and invitation and calming and playfulness and enlivening. Strength comes from literature. Literature that inspires us, guides us, teaches us, affirms us as it reflects the truths and aspirations of our lives. And strength comes from prayer that calls us into ourselves and also out of ourselves, helping us to listen to ourselves and to the world, humbling us while also uplifting us. Our reading today ends with an interesting additional piece, interesting to me anyway. It says, and Moses wrote down this teaching and gave it to the leaders of the people. The word for teaching that is used is Torah. But it's not clear because in Hebrew there are no capital letters. So it's not clear if this is Torah with a capital T or Torah with a lowercase t. Meaning he wrote down the whole teaching, or he wrote down that one teaching about being strong and not fearing. So in this verse, are we switching to that very broad scope where Moses is speaking of all that has been said before, and that's what got written down in this moment? Or is it particularly that little bit of verses, that little bit of extra instruction about being strong and not fearing and knowing that we're not alone? I kind of think it's the latter. It's a PS, like a postscript to all of this. This part is being lifted up for us, for our eyes, lest we forget as we carry the Torah. We are the priests carrying the Torah through the midbar, through the desert, about to enter our homeland. So we are, as we hold all of that, as we carry the Torah, this Torah, all the learning, all the wisdom through our lives, and as we are teachers and leaders and guides and parents and role models, let us not forget our strength. Let us not forget to seek and find our strength. Strength from within, strength from without, so that we can come home. So that we can return to the car and the cabin and the dinner table and those dear ones waiting to feed us, and then return to our beds and awaken to a new day in strength, in life, and in joy. Blessings to all of you, to all of us, to all of our people, to all the world on this Shabbat Shuvah, this Shabbat of returning. May we all be inscribed for a strong and courageous and accompanied life in this new year. Shabbat Shalom.